Hey everybody, I wanted to make a video today to touch on a few subjects about Skyrim, and I wanted to talk and give my opinion because a lot of things have been going on the internet lately. Of course, Elder Scrolls 6 just got announced not too long ago, and Skyrim's been out for a long time, but people are still making content about it, and there's so much that's gone on with Skyrim, and especially with things coming up like the Elder Scrolls Legends and the controversy with Diablo Immortal and the comparison between Bethesda and Blizzard right now. And I want to touch on a few things, but I wanted to touch first on Skyrim because I feel Skyrim is very important to me, and I think I have some things to say about it that I want to get out there. So I want to start off by going through a little bit of background of my background with Skyrim and Bethesda. So the first Bethesda game that I played was The Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and I did like it quite a bit. I played it when I was very young. I was a little kid basically, and it was a wonderful world for me to explore. And I think that Oblivion did a great job, and I think also Skyrim did a good job. But I never played Morrowind, and um, I am actually going to play Morrowind, and I might make a video about my experience in it. Um, but I want to start off with a few things in Skyrim that I just can't believe that they did so well in Oblivion, but they just couldn't do it in Skyrim. And one of the points that I want to make is the College of Winterhold Questline. So in Oblivion, the if you wanted to be a mage, you had an absolutely amazing quest line for you. It was a lot of the quest lines in Oblivion were like more interesting and better than the main quest line. And I feel like if you just did only the Mages Guild quest line in Oblivion, you would have had the time of your life. Now, if you do only the College of Winterhold, it would still be fun, especially if you don't have the Oblivion experience of the Mages Guild to compare it to, because honestly, in my opinion, it was the most disappointing quest line in Skyrim. And then, I mean, there's nothing else to it. I think that you walk in, they're like, oh, they treat you basically like you don't know anything at first, which is good, and that's what they should do. But then, like, after your first mission, you wind up like defeating this old like legendary warrior that's protecting this like amazingly powerful artifact of the Eye of Magnus. And while you're on the way there, you get talked to by the Sigic Order, which we really haven't really. If you've played Oblivion, or I don't know about Morrowind, but they're pretty much out of nowhere. You like nobody knows who the Sigic Order is, and then they're talked up to be like this legendary, insanely powerful group of mages, and you're just like a normal mage that just trying to learn his the very first spells and stuff. Like you might have just been like level 1 or 2 or 3. You went to, you know, Dragon's Reach, and you're like, I want to play a mage character, and then you talk to a couple people and they say, "Oh, go to the College of Winterhold." It's like the first thing you do. And the Sigic Order is already saying, "Oh, you're a super powerful mage with an important destiny. Like there's something special about you, and we believe in you." And you just get immediately handed like, "Oh, you're the best," like, you know. And that just doesn't feel good. It feels like you didn't earn anything. And especially if you had done some of the Dragonborn questline already, they still talk to you the same way. The Sigic Order, they still say, "Oh, you're special. You know, we don't know why, but you are." Now, what's so hard about just changing the lines of the Sigic Order person to be like, "Ah, the Dragonborn, finally, you have come," you know, so that that's why you're special. There's so many other things I could say about how they immediately give you the Dragonborn status and all that. Of course, that's a whole new topic, but they the first quest line is just kind of weird because you gain so much power so quickly, and in just the first quest line, and then when you get back, they basically say you gotta go and fetch some books from these really powerful, dangerous mages. and you wind up going there. Like, why wouldn't they send one of their higher ups to deal with this huge, like, extremely powerful artifact that's very dangerous and we don't know much about? We need to go and fetch these books so that we can, like, figure out what's going on. But let's just send our newest, weakest mage that we have that just happened to get lucky on his first quest line. And they send you to do something so pivotally important, and you're pretty much like fresh out of the gate noob, basically. And what I feel, just as a suggestion, I feel like they should have said, oh, this is an important thing, but we can't afford to send anybody because it's so dangerous. There's no guarantee. Like, we can't afford to lose anyone at this point. So we need to make sure that we're fully prepared to do this, And of course, you want the player to do it. So we need to prepare the player. They should give you a quest like, okay, we've lost some, ancient tomes, or we've lost this powerful artifact that is supposedly not very heavily guarded, and it would be good for you and maybe a couple of the other apprentices that came in with the class in the beginning, those apprentices. Like, why don't you guys go and fetch these powerful artifacts and knowledge and come back stronger so that we can then send you under the guidance of Tolfdir, for example, under the guidance of Mirabelle, or, Feralda, with you to go and fetch these books. Not that we know that you're powerful enough to handle it. And then they could have gone into the questline with the different companions you can get, or followers you can get from the Mage's College. Basically, you talk to Jazargo, and he's like, Jazargo wants to come. Jazargo would love to come, but Jazargo is not exactly prepared. He has been working on this flame cloak spell and is not sure if it will work. And then you would do the Jazargo's flame cloak spell quest before you could go on the Mages Guild quest with him following you. Or potentially you would not choose Jazargo, you could choose a different follower and do his quest line. That way, it would show character development of not only the player, but the people around the player, and allow him to interact with the world and to feel like he's growing stronger and actually grow stronger. Give more depth to the quest line and really feel like you're playing a mage. And then after you do all that, you come back potentially with like an enchanted ring or some type of some new enchanted special items, possibly even the Equilibrium book. I don't know, but so after you complete all that, you would come back. They'd say, okay, now you can go, and you'd kind of have like the choice maybe to go with the follower, or maybe Tolfdir would go with you and the follower, and then you would go and do the quest line where you fetch all the books, and just have some more detail, because the thing about the Mage's quest line, or the College of Winterhold in Skyrim, is that it is short, it's not very rewarding, and a lot of it doesn't make sense. So that's my first point. My first point is that you're given so much power so quickly and relied upon so heavily. Like, so quick. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And especially what doesn't make sense is the Psijic Order telling you you're a god, you are a godly mage, but you're like, I just got here. I can't even fucking cast, adept level spells yet. I'm not even really a mage. I'm just casting some little spells, And these Psijic Order guys are like, "Oh, you're amazing." So, the next thing I want to get to is it kind of touches on the Imperials and the Stormcloaks. And, everybody has their own, I want to be an Imperial. I think the Imperials are just, or for the Nords, Stormcloaks, everyone. And then there's people that rationalize it and really decide which one makes more sense, the Imperials or the Stormcloaks. But there is a third party here, obviously, and it is the Thalmor. And the Thalmor are represented in the College of Winterhold by Ancano. And we don't really have a good quest line. The Imperials and the Stormcloak quest line and all that is another big topic that is of debate that I won't go into. But my point is that there is a third option, and it is the Thalmor. And I feel like they had a great opportunity with Ancano to here, let me put up a picture just so you know who he is. If you might be able to recognize him. He is the high elf that is basically all up in your business, you know, reporting to the Thalmor about what's going on at the College of Winterhold. So, here's my question. Why, if you're playing a high elf character, especially if you're playing a high elf character, why is there not an option when he comes up to you and he's like, hey, what is this? What's going on? Like, you need to tell me what's going on. I need to report to the Thalmor about all this. The Thalmor will know about all this. Then you can be like, yeah, you're right. This is important. The Thalmor do need to know about this. The Thalmor should know about what's going on here. Like, and then you should be able to be like, all right, here's Ancano. Here's what's happening. Like, this is happening. Like, I learned about this. You know, people are talking about this. I've learned this. You know, you should be able to help Ancano. There should be an option like, you know, there should be an option along those lines, and then there should be another option where it's like, well, you know, I don't know, let me talk to, you know, the Archmage first, you know, and then there should be an option like, dude, screw off, dude, you're a Thalmor scum, you're high elf scum, like, get the hell out of here. There should be more options, because basically the options you get when you talk to him are like, they're basically, that's none of your business. Then you have another option, which is like, well, yeah, I guess, maybe. What's, like, what do you care? And then there's, like, a third option, which is, like, maybe there's something going on. I don't know. It's basically, you have three options, but all three of them are the same thing. And it's so disappointing, because it's just disappointing that you can't choose to side with Ancano. I know that he's destined to be, you know, the villain in the quest line in the end, but there's ways that they could have done it better, especially in comparison to the Mages College in Oblivion. So that's the main point that I wanted to make. And towards the end of the quest line, maybe you could have it end differently, whereas, you know, you kind of team up with Ancano and he lets you, you know, maybe there's one scene where he's like, oh, like if you hadn't teamed up with him in the past, this scene wouldn't happen. But if you had, where he kind of comes up to you after, you know, you're sent to go get the Staff of Magnus, or maybe somewhere in the quest line where he's still a neutral and not the enemy, and he kind of comes up to you and he's like, hey, you know, you've helped me before. When you get the staff of when you go to get the Staff of Magnus, and when you figure out where it is, can you please allow me to, you know, make sure it gets into the right hands? And then you could have, you know, the quest line end in a different way, where instead of Ancano being defeated, like this, maybe the Sigic Order have to step in more. You know, there's so much potential for the questline to be so much better, especially in terms of Ancano's character. Ancano's character is horrible. It just makes no sense. And the Sigic Order make no sense. When I was playing through this questline the first time, I expected to learn a lot about the Sigic Order. And I thought this was just like the entry questline to the real Mage's questline, which was going to be the Sigic Order questline. That would have been great. But we didn't get half of what it could have been. And I personally think, to be realistic, there are quest lines in Skyrim that are not exactly necessary, that they could have just scrapped to make this quest line better. Like, I personally don't really care that much about the Forsworn quest line. It is weird. I mean, some people may like it, but I think we can all generally agree that it's not one of the, you know, memorable quest lines. I mean, there's other quest lines that are not exactly amazing that they could have scrapped. Forsworn is just an example, but there are other ones out there, I'm sure, that they could have scrapped like the one in Whiterun that's bugged, where the girl's like, "Oh, the Thalmor took my, you know, they took my son, they kidnapped my son." That quest line where the old lady tells you to go fetch her son from the Thalmor and stuff like that. We've already seen a lot of representation about how bad the Thalmor are. We need. They could have scrapped those two quest lines and focused more on making this mage's quest line represent the Thalmor better. It's a mage's college, and high elves are supposed to be great at magic and everything. They could have represented the mage's College of Winterhold as more positively for the Thalmor, kind of express the other side of the argument about how the Thalmor are bad, yeah, but maybe they're kind of just defending their religion and their, their whole history, just like the Nords are defending their religion and history, and so that's pretty much the main point of what I wanted to say. I could go into a little bit more, but it would probably get a lot more rambly than it already has, and I'm interested to see what people have to say in the comments. So I think I'll just wrap it up here. Thanks so much for listening. I may have more videos coming out, hopefully. I did find one extra picture that I wanted to show. I think it looks pretty cool. Anyway, I just got it for entertainment purposes. But thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.